Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'll be painting a rooster. I hope you'll follow along and paint with me. I start with the drawing. I printed out a black and white image of the chicken in about the size I wanted to paint and placed it side by side next to my paper, just so I could measure and compare a little easier. I actually start with tiny dots just to see where the top of the comb and the bottom of the wattle, which is the fleshy bit beneath the beak, will be. I can see that this first segment of feathers is about the same height as the distance I measured for the head. From there, I continue to make visual measurements and check my angles and shapes. Once I'm confident in my initial drawing, I go back and refine my shapes. The drawing took about 8 minutes. I spray my paints to activate them, wet the paper inside the lines and just avoid the head and the feet. I do a light wash of yellow ochre, just quick, gentle brush strokes with watered down paint. If I want my color to be darker, I grab paint directly from my paint pan. If I want the color to be lighter, I brush some paint onto my palette first, wet my brush, and swirl it in the paint to water it down a little bit before applying. I really like to build up layers of color. You're less likely to make an unalterable mistake if you work carefully, light to dark. I put in some strong, darker colors where there are deep shadows. This is where having an accurate drawing first is so essential. You can be more confident painting dark if you know everything is in the right place. I add some muted blue to the tail feathers. I'm choosing to paint quickly and loosely with this one. It can be so fun to see what the wet paint does when you just relinquish some control and allow it to bloom and flow. I want to loosely define the basic shapes using light and shadow, and then just drop in hints of details here and there. I mix up a wet, rich red for the comb and wattles, just painting carefully inside my drawing. While it's still wet, I add some black shadows, which blend nicely. I paint the feet using a grayish blue. My background is very loose and expressive. You can use any colors you want for the background. I'm choosing to use some blues and greens just to make it look like an outdoor setting. I finish it off with some eye and beak details and add a last wash of yellow to brighten up the feathers. I also add little hints of blue to give it extra color and whimsy. Using the tip of my round brush, I add a few more feather details. I just can't help myself. My last addition is a shadow beneath the rooster. I hope you're able to follow along and maybe pick up some tips and tricks to use on your own paintings. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Turn on notifications so you never miss any new videos, and leave me any comments or questions below. I make sure to respond to each and every one. Thank you so much for watching today.